Welcome to week 4 of the Lenten yoga series at First Presbyterian Church, marking the 4th Sunday in Lent. I'm Nathan, and I will be sharing the benefits of yoga with you today as we center our focus on the word for this practice being humility. And we take a moment to disconnect from all that we have going on outside of the practice, be it good or bad, and take a moment to bring our mind, our body, and our spirit together here where our feet are. Take a moment to draw closer to God through the practice of yoga. So we'll begin in a comfortable position at the front of our mat, seated with our legs crossed and our shoulders relaxing down away from our ears, our spine extended long, maybe our chest tilted up slightly, the crown of our head extended towards the ceiling. And I'll read a short reflection here on the word humility. Luke 1:48. For he has looked upon his handmaid's lowliness. Behold, from now on, all ages call me blessed. Mary shows us what humility looks like. It's not the false humility that we sometimes fall into when we put ourselves down or do not use our God-given talents. That kind of behavior is not from God and does not serve humanity. The humility of Mary is a gift of the Holy Spirit. In her openness and receptivity to God's action in her life, Mary came to see and love herself as God saw and loved her. That is the attitude of a truly humble person. What can I learn from Mary's example of humility? We'll begin by bringing our head upright and extending our right fingertips along the ground to our right, letting our left ear drop to our left shoulder, stretching through the right side of our neck here. From here, letting our hand return to our knee as we extend the left fingertips along the ground to the left, letting our right ear drop to our right shoulder. Here, extending our head back up to the ceiling as we inhale. On an inhale, bringing those hands up above. Exhaling to drop our left hand down to the base of our spine and our right hand over to our left knee. Twisting to the left. On an inhale, extending our spine long, allowing us on an exhale to then twist further over that left shoulder. Inhaling those arms up above, and exhaling as we twist to the right, bringing that left hand to the right knee, dropping that right palm to the base of our spine as we twist to the right. On an inhale, extending that spine long and crown of the head to the ceiling, exhaling deeper into the twist. Here, inhaling, coming out of those twists with the arms up above, and exhaling those hands to the knees. We'll make our way to a tabletop with the hands and wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips of the neutral spine. From here, inhaling through some cat and cow, inhaling as we drop our belly down to the floor, our gaze to the front of the room, our chest and our hips tilted up, exhaling as we arch our spine to the ceiling, dropping our gaze to the floor, to our belly buttons, inhaling as we go back into cow, dropping our bellies to the floor, exhaling through cat, arching our spine up to the ceiling, letting our crown of our head drop to the floor. Inhaling to drop our bellies in cow. We'll repeat this a couple more times at the pace of our own breath. Exhaling to arch our spine. We'll come to a neutral spine. And on an inhale, to begin to thread the needle, we'll send that right arm out to the right and up. Exhaling as we flip that palm up and send it behind the left wrist, out to the left. Dropping that right temple and shoulder to the ground. Stretching through the twist. If you want more, you can send that left hand to the front of the mat or up to the ceiling. We'll relax here for a few moments. To come out of this pose, taking that left palm and placing it in front of the face, pressing into the palm to raise our shoulders back over our wrists. From here on an inhale, sending that left arm out to the side and up, and exhaling as we slip that palm face up behind the right wrist, sending it out to the right, dropping that left shoulder and left temple to the ground. Pressing through that right palm to keep the pressure off of the neck, or if you want more of the twist, sending that right hand to the front of the mat or up to the ceiling. We'll relax here for a few moments. From here, placing that right palm on the ground in front of our face and pressing through the palm to bring our shoulders back over our wrists. From this tabletop, we're going to move into downward dog, shifting our hands a hand's breadth forward and tucking our back toes under. Sending our hips to the ceiling as we press through our legs, press through our shoulders, dropping our triceps to the ground and sending our biceps forward, putting a slight arch in the back. As we send those heels to the back and down. From downward dog, taking baby steps to walk forward into a forward fold. Hands on the shins, the feet are the floor, slight bend in the knees to protect the lower back. Inhaling, placing those hands on the shins, crown of the head to the front of the room, with a flat back for halfway lift. Exhaling into a forward fold again with a slight bend in those knees to protect the lower back. From here, inhaling those arms up above as we hinge at the hips for an extended mountain, and exhaling to drop those hands by the sides for mountain. From here, we'll go through a sun salutation, inhaling those arms up above, and exhaling as we go into a forward fold. Hands on the shins, the feet are the floor. Slight bend in the knees to protect the lower back. Inhaling to a halfway lift. Hands on the shins. And exhaling as we frame those feet, sending that right foot to the back of the mat, dropping the right knee to the ground, releasing the ankle, the top of the foot to the mat. Inhaling those arms forward and up for a low lunge. Those palms shoulder width apart, facing each other, gaze forward or slightly up at a diagonal. We'll hold here for a few moments. From here, inhaling, and then on an exhale, framing that left foot at the front of the mat, stepping that left foot to meet the right at the back for downward dog, sending those hips up to the ceiling, pressing through the shoulders. Stepping that right foot up to the front of the mat, dropping that left knee to the ground, releasing the ankle top of the foot to the ground, sending those arms out to the front and up for a low lunge on the other side. Holding here for a few moments, gaze forward or slightly up. From here we'll inhale. And then on an exhale, frame that foot at the front of the mat, stepping that left foot up to meet the right. Inhaling into a halfway lift, hands on those shins. Exhaling into a forward fold, slight bend in the knees to protect that lower back as we rest the belly on the upper legs. Inhaling, sending those arms out as we hinge up and arms up above for extended mountain before we exhale into mountain, hands by those sides. From here, we'll move into a warrior one on each side, stepping that right foot to the back of the mat, about a leg's length, with the toes 45 degrees off to the side. We'll square those hips to the front of the room. Inhale those arms forward and up above, and on an exhale, drop that left knee to bend at the knee, keeping the knee above the left ankle, not letting that knee go in front of the toes. Gaze forward or slightly up at a diagonal. We'll hold here for a few moments. From here, stepping that right foot up to meet the left and mountain. We'll take a step back, taking that left foot to the back of the mat. Toes at 45 degrees, about a leg length back. We'll square the hips forward. Inhale those arms forward and up before we exhale to put a 90-degree bend in that right knee, making sure to keep the knee above the ankle, not letting it go past the toes. Gaze forward or slightly up at a diagonal, palms shoulder width apart, facing each other. We'll hold here for a few moments. From here, stepping that left foot up to meet the right. For tree, a balancing pose. We'll bring the weight into our left foot, putting a micro bend in that left knee, coming up to bend the right knee on that big toe, opening up to the right, bringing the bottom of that right foot to the inside of the left calf or to the inside of the left thigh, and sending our branches out and up. We'll balance in tree for a few moments. Letting that right foot come back to the ground to meet the left. We'll begin the other side by putting the weight into that right foot and a micro bend in that right knee. Coming up to the left big toe, bending the left knee and opening that hip up to the left before we bring that bottom of the left foot to the inside of the right calf or inside of the right thigh. And inhaling those arms up above, expanding our branches out wide. We'll hold here for a few moments. From here, making our way down to a child's pose at the back of our mat, taking a break for just a moment. Here, inhaling up to tabletop and dropping those hips off to one side before we rotate the feet forward. Slowly lowering back to our backs with our knees bent up to the ceiling. We're going to stretch our hips now by taking that right ankle and bringing it on top of the left knee before reaching through and grabbing that left shin, pulling those knees back into the chest to stretch that right hip. Flexing both of those feet to protect the knees. Dropping that left foot to the ground, moving to drop that right foot to the ground before we bring the outside of that left ankle over the right knee, sending those arms through to grab that right shin as we pull those knees in to stretch that left hip, flexing those feet to protect the knees. Sending those arms out to a T from here, bringing those knees at 90-degree angle as we get ready for a recline twist, inhaling here and exhaling as we drop those knees to the left, bringing that gaze out long over the right palm with the option to grab those knees with the left hand to push them down to the ground, making sure to keep that right shoulder on the ground. We'll hold here for a few moments. Bringing the gaze back up to the ceiling and the arms back out to a T. We'll bring those knees back up to 90 degrees. Inhaling here before we exhale those knees over to the right. Sending the gaze left out over that arm with the option to grab those knees with the right hand to press down, making sure we keep that left shoulder on the ground. Bringing that gaze back up to the ceiling and those arms back out to a T. We'll bring those knees into the chest and hug them into the tight ball here. On an exhaling everything out before we send our legs long on an inhale to the front of the mat, letting those feet splay out open. Dropping those arms by the sides at 30 degrees for our final relaxation. Consciously going muscle for muscle without flexing or moving, mentally going in and releasing the tension. I'll take a moment to read another reflection on humility here. 1 Peter 5, verse 6 and 7. So humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may exalt you in due time. Cast all your worries upon him, because he cares for you. In our full and fast-paced daily lives, it is easy to give in to the temptation of thinking that we are the general manager of the universe. So much depends on us. And then we read this passage from Peter, reminding the community and us of our true nature. Peter exhorts us to let God be God in our lives. When we humbly surrender control of our lives to God, we allow God to work in and through us. There is no need to carry our burdens alone. Our loving God is waiting to walk beside us and lighten our load. What might God be asking me to surrender at this time? From here, bringing our awareness back into the room, wiggling the fingers and toes, rolling at the wrists and ankles before we maybe curl into a tight little ball or roll over to one side. On the way, making it up to a comfortable seated position at the front of our mat. From here, inhaling those arms up overhead one more time before we exhale to the right to stretch to that left side body. Arms up above on an inhale. Exhaling to the left, stretching through that right side body. Inhaling, arms up above, and exhaling, hands to the knees. As always, it is an honor and a privilege to practice with you. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. I hope you go about the rest of your days with a little bit more relaxation and a little bit more centeredness. Thank you very much.